say that again. At this time, I'd like to call to order the Franklin County Board of Commissioners meeting, general session. Today is November 16th, 2021, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crowley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those calling in, please ensure that you've muted your phone line by pressing *6. Thank you for your cooperation. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of November 9th, 2021 general session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
Comment, please. Quarter comment, please.
Resolution number 88921. Resolution authorizing the purchase of audiovisual equipment for 30 courtrooms from SI Technologies LLC, doing business as Live AV/New Era Technology.
Good morning.
Good
Susan
morning.
Bedsole, Deputy Court Director. As you know, the court is replacing all of our audiovisual equipment in 30 courtrooms due to our current equipment's age, failures, lack of technological functionality. A few months ago, you approved a contract with For the Record for the installation of a demonstration courtroom so that we could determine if their solution met the needs of the court. That demonstration was very successful, and we are very happy with the outcome. And are glad that we had that opportunity to test all of the equipment. Therefore, this resolution is for the purchase of equipment for this project. In order to keep this project on track, given the current supply chain shortages, I'm sure that we are all experiencing, a portion of the equipment will be purchased this year. While it's available, the remainder will be purchased next year. This resolution also provides supplemental appropriations for this year's purchase. I would note that at the beginning of next year, we will be bringing the services contract to you that will cover installation and all other implementation services. Pending any questions, we would request approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 88921.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 88921 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the engineer.
Resolution number 89021. E.L. Robinson Engineering of Ohio Company, consulting engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer in performing preliminary engineering for Frank Road, County Road number 125, at Brown Road, County Road number 142, Hardy Parkway Street, and Frank Road, County number 125, at Brown Road, Township Road number 142, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $348,600.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County engineer, and one who feels that every week is Infrastructure Week. Very excited that the President signed the federal infrastructure bill yesterday, and with your all support, certainly looking forward to utilizing any of that funding that comes here to Franklin County.
Absolutely.
Commissioners, this first resolution is a bit of a tongue twister, so let me see if I can get it right. This capital improvement project is in the southwest part of Franklin County, in Franklin Township, along Frank Road, where Frank Road intersects Brown Road, Hardy Parkway, and where Frank Road intersects Franklin Township's portion of Brown Road that extends further south and further into Franklin Township. A lot of Franklins and a lot of Franklin counties and so forth, so appreciate your patience. This particular project is a cooperative project that will utilize federal funding that has been routed through the Ohio Department of Transportation to build 2 modern roundabouts. This particular resolution is for a preliminary design contract with E.L. Robinson. We utilize the qualifications-based selection process and recommend your approval.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 89021.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 89021 has been adopted. Resolution number 89121, authorization for the Franklin County Engineer to enter into an agreement with the City of Columbus to assist the city with snow and ice removal during the 2021-2022 winter season.
Commissioners, this is the annual agreement with City of Columbus for snow and ice removal. The Franklin County Engineers Office has the capacity, the equipment, the materials, and the labor force to help City of Columbus with their very large jurisdiction and stretch of roadways. This particular agreement is for an amount up to $700,000 and extends through April 15th of 2022. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 89121.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 89121 has been adopted.
Thank you all very much. And if I could, just a quick reminder that this Thursday, the 18th, is the annual meeting of county and township officials. That'll be at the Boathouse at Confluence Park, starting at 5:30 p.m. Hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Next is the prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 89221. Resolution authorizing the settlement of two disputed legal claims arising from an automobile accident involving a Franklin County Engineers Office employee and authorizing the county administrator to execute documents necessary to effectuate the settlements.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Jesse Armstrong, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. The resolution before you is related to an automobile accident that occurred on February 1st, 2021, and involved a Franklin County engineer snowplow. The snowplow, while out plowing roads, made a left turn in front of a vehicle that was coming straight, and a collision occurred. There are two settlements here because the driver of the other vehicle was not the owner of the vehicle. So there is a bodily injury claim by the driver of the other vehicle, as well as a property damage claim that has been asserted by the owner of the vehicle. Both of these claims were sent to the county's third-party claims administrator, who negotiated the settlements. The bodily injury claimant was represented by counsel, and the bodily injury claim is for $30,000. The property damage for $6,643.76. The prosecutor's office has reviewed both of these claims and does approve the proposed settlement. Pending any further questions from you, the prosecutor's office would recommend approval of the resolution in both of these legal claims.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 89221.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 89221 has been adopted. Resolution number 89321. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a settlement and release agreement for the settlement of legal claims brought in the United States District Court, Southern District of Ohio, being case number 2:20 CV-04543, and authorizing the county administrator to take additional actions necessary to effectuate the settlement.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Teresa Dean from the Prosecutor's Office. This case was filed by a former pathologist against the Franklin County Coroner's Office in the Southern District of Ohio Federal Court. The lawsuit alleges claims for disability discrimination and failure to accommodate in violation of state and federal law, and violations of the Family and Medical Leave Act for interference and retaliation for using those Family and Medical Leave Act rights. As part of the settlement, Dr. Appointing has agreed to release or to dismiss his lawsuit and to release any and all claims, known or unknown, that he might have. The prosecutor's office has been working on this case for quite some time. We've done extensive discovery. We've been involved in negotiations, and we believe this resolution authorizing settlement is in the best interest of the county. So we would recommend approving this resolution that allows Administrator Wilson to settle the case. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you.
But I'm just sorry, when you say Administrator Wilson to settle the case, you mean based on what we've agreed to? So you just finalize the paperwork, or you mean based on what is negotiated?
Yeah, it would be, you've had an opportunity to review the terms of the settlement, I believe, and this resolution would authorize Administrator Wilson to sign the settlement agreement and any other necessary paperwork like the PO order.
Okay. Is that the way the process typically works? Okay. All right. I had heard that language before, but okay.
President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Crowley, previously, the details of the settlement have been discussed, and I will be signing off on the agreed-to settlement amount of $72,500, which you all approve.
Yeah, I remember. I just, the way she worded it, I just hadn't heard it worded that way before, so I thought it sounded like something new. No, that's my issue, no problem. Good.
If there are no additional comments, I move to approve Resolution 893-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 893-21 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next is the sheriff.
Resolution number 894-21. Supplemental Contract Modification Number 2 with Matrix Point Software LLC and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for the Matrix Police Case Management System in the amount of $90,300.
Morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. This resolution will approve a supplemental contract modification, which is the second one with Matrix Point Software. It will add Perry Township to the program. The $90,300 includes costs for the initial implementation fee and ongoing site license fees through 2028. Perry Township was not originally part of the Justice Portal program when we switched over to Matrix several years ago, and this will add Perry Township as mentioned. Pending any questions, we ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no questions, I move to approve Resolution 894-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 894-21 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks. Office of Aging.
Resolution number 895-21. Resolution authorizing a novation agreement with A1 Nursing Care Incorporated.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Amy Funk, Assistant Director of Administration, and joining me this morning is Director Orval Johns. On October 10th, 2017, Franklin County entered into a contract with A1 Preferred Services, Inc. for homemaker, personal care, and respite care services to those served by the Franklin County Office on Aging's Senior Options Program. The term of the contract was for a period of 3 years beginning October 10th, 2017, and included a 2-year extension option. Franklin County was notified that A1 Preferred Services, Inc. is planning to operate under another established company named A1 Nursing Care, Inc. As such, the novation agreement notes the company and name change. A1 Nursing Care, Inc. agrees to assume the liability of the original contract between Franklin County and A1 Preferred Services, Inc. to continue to provide home care services throughout the original contract and any agreed-to extensions at the same rates, terms, and conditions. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Hearing no questions or comments, I move to approve Resolution 895-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 895-21 has been adopted.
Sorry, community partnerships.
Resolution number 896-21. Resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with United Way of Central Ohio assist Franklin County School Districts in improving reading proficiency among third grade students in the amount of $500,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Community Partnerships Administrator. The resolution before you this morning authorizes an agreement with the United Way of Central Ohio to support their work in improving reading proficiency among third grade students. Research confirms that third graders who are unable to read at grade level are among the most vulnerable for dropping out of school before graduating. Yet, we have no systemic level collaborative effort in Franklin County to support children in kindergarten through third grade. The United Way of Central Ohio proposes to create a systemic shift and a holistic approach to the deployment of the local infrastructure of supports around students from kindergarten through third grade. To move this work forward, the United Way will establish a guiding coalition with members who will be engaged in designing and implementing initial parent and community engagement efforts, understanding the landscape of social, emotional learning and community supports across 7 school districts, and building partnerships in districts to deploy aligned strategies that support and accelerate improved third grade outcomes. Joining us this morning to share more information about this important initiative is Dr. Lisa Cordes, President and CEO of the United Way of Central Ohio. Lisa?
Thank you, Dana. I'm honored to be here. Thank you, President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, and Commissioner Crawley. On behalf of United Way of Central Ohio's Board of Trustees, we appreciate your consideration to provide startup funding for the Success by Third Grade movement. Inspired by Rise Together Blueprint and the need to be innovative in response to the complex needs created by the pandemic, we have launched a strategy to help ensure all Franklin County children are on a pathway to success by the time they leave third grade. As Dana mentioned, we know that one of the greatest predictors of high school graduation is being literate and reading proficient at the end of third grade. And we also know that one of the greatest predictors that you won't live a life in poverty is the ability to earn a high school diploma. Prior to the pandemic, in Franklin County, as reported in 2018, we had 7 districts that had less than 75% of students reading proficient by the end of third grade. Many of those districts are at less than 40% of children reading proficient. The lowest performing districts include Columbus, Groveport, and Whitehall. What has kept me up during this pandemic is the tragic disruption of education for our county's children. County funding will support our role as a backbone organization. We will drive a process to bring our community together to establish common goals and metrics and drive strategies to increase literacy proficiency. We launched this movement with superintendents from the following Franklin County districts who have already committed to this partnership. They include Columbus, Gahanna, Groveport-Madison, Reynoldsburg, Southwestern, Westerville, and Whitehall. We heard loud and clear from these district leaders that they know how to teach reading in the classroom, but their students come to school with too many barriers to succeed. Our district partners recognize that United Way has a 100-year history of supporting strategies to stabilize families. We have agreed that our alignment can produce results for children. We also have a great opportunity to build a strong public-private partnership. To date, Alliance Data, Cardinal Health, Heartland Bank, and PNC have provided startup funding. In closing, I will also share our excitement that we have an unprecedented alignment with Celebrate One and Future Ready to partner with our Success by Third Grade. We are already working closely together, and what we know is that we're serving the same children and the same families, and we're all working together to ensure their educational achievements. I welcome your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Cortes. I think, let me see if my colleagues have any questions, but I know Deputy Administrator Bivens has a question, okay.
Thank you,
I'm
Commissioner.
sorry, Commissioner, did you have a question?
I did, but I can wait. I'll let
Okay,
Director.
the
No,
first-
Commissioner, go ahead.
Okay. Dr. Cordes, I just have a question about the children that are identified. You spoke to the fact that by the time, or at when children are tested at third grade for third grade reading guarantee, there's school districts that have less than 75% proficiency. We know that obviously students who are engaged early in our education system has the best, are more likely to succeed, especially when it comes to reading. So how are these students are going to be identified and at what stage? Because I would say that kindergarten, there are indicators that might, some children might need early intervention, same at first grade and second. And so if you can speak to how are the students going to be identified, and then I guess even at each grade level, how do we provide a safety net so they don't fall through the cracks, or during the summertime, this is a compounded question, or during the summertime, we know that students, lose some of the things that they learned during the school year. How are we providing a safety net to make sure that they don't lose the knowledge and the skills that they learned during the school year, especially around reading proficiency?
Great, thank you for your questions. It is complex. And I will say we have a guiding coalition that's been developed that are leaders from each of the school districts. And so we're creating this together. What we know that there are indicators that best practice would say if you do certain things that you will have greater success, right? There's research in this space. And one is improving attendance, and the other is the summer slide. So we will be putting together strategies that are comprehensive, and we will be working with children starting in kindergarten. So when I do say success, leave third grade reading proficient, we will have strategies for kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. But those are being developed right now. But I am feeling confident in that there's really great research out there about how to do this work and interventions that are helpful. But they do, for sure, they include summer support as well as improving attendance. I hope that brings some clarity.
So, thank you. So, for clarification, you would be looking at attendance records or, as a measure to identify students who may need additional help.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And actually, we would be, while there will be interventions per child, it is about a systems approach. So, yes, there'll be individual work, and we'll have volunteers working with kids and families, but it is about a more systemic look and policies that we could perhaps impact that would help all children.
Okay, thank you. I know Director Bivens has some questions, and so I'll probably follow up after her questions.
So I just have a couple of things, and thank you, Dr. Cordes. Just, do you currently have right now the data of who these students are across the spectrum of the districts you're talking about? Are there more boys and girls? What is the data of these students? Are they Black? Are they white? Majority-wise?
So the 7 districts that we're working with, they're all very different. I will say that we've been asked at Southwestern, they want to prioritize children who are Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they see their greatest need. In Columbus City Schools, they want us to start with districts regions 1 and 3, right, because they're the lowest performing. And every district's a little different. Like there's not, it's fascinating to see because there's not one demographic that is standing out.
Right. When you mentioned barriers in supportive services, and I just want to go on the record for the commissioners and for everyone else, especially when we talk about aligning programs to the Poverty Blueprint Plan, I would like just to know when these initiatives come forward, because I would like to see what existing supportive services that we're already funding in those particular districts, as well as when we talk about the Poverty Blueprint Plan and we're using a framework with aligning our programs so that we get to more of a generative model from the human services value curve. I would, if possible, like to know about these programs just so that starting out the gate, we're all on the same page. So that is all I have, and I just put that request before the commissioners. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Absolutely, thank you.
Commissioner, do you have a follow-up question?
No, go ahead.
So, good morning. Dr. Cordes, how are you today?
Great, thank you.
So, I guess my question comes in the form of measurements. What are you doing? What are you going to put in place to, around in the form of measurements, so that you guys know and that we know that you are measuring the success rate, from now through third grade, but then also, are you thinking about or are you looking at measurements for success long-term? The whole end goal is to get high school graduates here,
Right.
And so have you thought about what measurements for success look like there?
So the Guiding Coalition has its next meeting in December, and collectively we will agree on what those measures are. We're likely going to have an aspirational goal that by X date, perhaps 2033, that all Franklin County third graders are reading proficient. And that would align with Future Ready's goal to have all children ready to learn in kindergarten by 2030. So that would be a nice transition for the two initiatives. But so as the backbone organization, and that's what United Way has been securing funding for, so we'll drive this process and we will hold the data and hold the dashboard for this work and monitor progress. Some of this comes from, we have corporate partners, for example, Nationwide and AEP, who care deeply about education, as you well know, and invest a lot of resources in it. And so they have asked us why we are just going to third grade at this point and not the whole continuum. And we have shared with them, to your point, how important it is that we hold that data as a region and monitor the progress. That we felt like as an organization, we needed to start with the success by third grade because we are also learning as an organization. And so to take on the full spectrum of school didn't feel like the best strategy at this point, but it would be our intent that it go well and that we can extend our work as we gain traction and gain experience.
Okay, thank you.
My question is for the administrator. What funds are we using for this grant here? Where are these funds coming from?
American Rescue Plan funds.
These are, okay. In terms of ongoing funding, what is the strategy to maintain the progress or maintain this level of investment past the grant funds? And that's probably for you, Dr. Cordes.
Yeah, thank you. We have a plan to complete our financial modeling for what it would take for us in the next to 2030 or 2033. We're looking at both. So let's say that it's going to take us, I'm making this up, but let's say it takes $5 million to work over this next 10, 15 years. We are going to head into a community campaign, and we've talked with a couple corporate leaders and civic leaders about leading that campaign. And we will, similar to a capital campaign, strive to get commitments up front so that we aren't spending all of our time trying to raise money each year, but providing that we continue to make progress and achieve our goals, that the various companies, for example, and individuals would continue funding us.
Sure. I know, I can appreciate that you really thought, it sounds like you really have thought that through, but I want to just once again challenge our administration as we're using these ARP funds dollars to really look at that as a basis for consideration. As far as I'm concerned, the United Way, in my opinion, has what I would describe as a high credit score as far for me, and so I'm going to trust and value the leadership of the United Way, its historical context of delivering partnership-based services to this community. But that's not a great way to function for us, quite frankly. And I just want to say, I'm at a point in our consideration of these ARP funds where I know how this plays out. This is not my first rodeo, and I'm telling you, we'll be back here 2 years from now, and many agencies will be saying, well, the funding was started here, but now you got to pick it up, county. And that will not be the case. We won't be able to. And so while I'm not going to hold this up, I do want to push the administration for a deeper process as it relates to vetting that out before it gets here. I'm challenged in that I don't want to hold funds up from hitting the streets because I know what that means in real impact in real time, and so I'm challenged with that. But I'm also as a prudent financial lens would say that you're forecasting out how this is going to be sustained past this one term, this one pot of dollars, and that's where my hesitation is on many of the community partnership grants using the ARP funds. I'm not convinced that there's a real plan and strategy. The other thing is, I want to go back, and this final point I say, we can move on, I promise, to what Deputy Administrator Bivens pointed out. In this type of work, what we learned most from our blueprint work is the need to align resources and strategies up so that we can get the best outcomes and the deepest impact. And so it's so important that there's a process that, and it's not just about saying, this aligns with point, 7 of the blue. It's not that. It's deeper than that because it makes the connection from, a reading proficiency, as you know, Dr. Cortes. A reading proficiency is not just about classroom pedagogy. It is as much about all of the ancillary things that support kids in poverty and kids who come from communities that have challenges, to allow them to be able to be in that classroom, to be able to focus in that classroom, to be able to address other issues that might be jamming them up in their learning process. And so that's what this blueprint conversation and economic mobility and all the things that we've talked about with racism and so forth, that's where this is. And so I wouldn't hold this up. I talked to my colleagues. I'm comfortable with this, but I'm comfortable on the credit of the United Way as far as I'm concerned, and you too, Dr. Cortes. And I'm comfortable giving it that chance, but I just want to emphasize going forward, though, that I think we need to we got sort of the one shot at this with these funds, and to leverage them in a way that allows us to really create a sustainable trajectory, I just think is anything less than that will be doing the community a disservice. So, sorry for that rant.
No, President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Crawley. Yes, I think in this particular grant, that was heard loud and clear, and collaboration and a loan sustainability question was posed to the United Way. And before bringing this forward back on October 6th, we received their response from Dr. Cortes of what the plan was. We are $500,000 over a 3-year period. The startup budget for the success by third grade is $3.2 million over those 3-year periods. So they need to have, so they have to anticipate creating the financial modeling for 2023 and beyond by early spring of 2022. And they've indicated there, as stated, that their initial intent is to establish an initial goal to fund the movement through 2030, which aligns to the future ready goal of ready by 5. They also, Dr. Cortes also indicated that the United Way Board of Trustees had agreed to prioritize a fundraising campaign that will be led by one or more of their closest corporate partners, CEOs, in partnership with other community leaders. And they also committed to exploring national foundations. So we heard that loud and clear, and before bringing this forward, we got those commitments from Dr. Quarters on this. And your office was one of the leaders in getting that.
Yep, I know, yes.
So Commissioner Boyce makes a fantastic point. And, you know, obviously I believe we're all, you know, not only very comfortable with this, but believe this is an important resolution, an important program to bring forward. And I for one have not only raised this issue with administration on a handful of occasions, but I've raised it with my friends at City Hall. I've raised it with folks at the County Commissioners Association of Ohio. I've raised this issue with folks at the National Association of Counties. You know, obviously these American Rescue Plan dollars are critically important at this juncture, and we're all very appreciative of this infusion and the need for these dollars. But at the same time, because they are such a, you know, they've come at this time, and because they've been put into the community the way they have, and because they have they're one-time dollars that have, you know, a time frame on them. There will be, they will, and very justifiably can and will create this sort of a situation on a continual basis. And I've had this conversation with the mayor a few times. The city, you know, the county does human services. It's what we are. It's what we do. You know, the city of Columbus is a different animal. They are suddenly in the human service business, and they are doing a whole lot of human services, as are cities and municipalities all over the United States now. And so those that are receiving human service grant dollars from the cities and municipalities all over the country, they're getting these one-time funds, and they're going to be getting them for the next few years, and then those dollars are going to dry up. And where are they going to turn if they aren't prepared for the fact that those are one-time funds and those dollars are going to dry up? Where are they going to turn in a few years? They're likely going to turn to the counties, not just Franklin County, but counties all over the state and all over the country. And so I have been, you know, reminding county administration here in Franklin County, but the County Commissioners Association of Ohio and the National Association of Counties, that we're going to have to be prepared for this. And I've been begging and imploring our folks down at City Hall to remind folks that these are one-time dollars, and they need to be spending them like they're one-time dollars, and they need to not be thinking that they're going to be there. And so, at Dr. Cordes, I tell you and I implore you, not just on this program, but as you're talking to those that are receiving, because you know all kinds of folks in this community that are receiving these one-time dollars, Franklin County is not going to be able to withstand, you know, those requests. We're not going to be able to handle all of those not-for-profits in this world, in this community in Central Ohio, that are going to come back to us looking for, you know, us to be able to sustain them in 4 years down the road when those dollars aren't there any longer, or whatever, a few years down the road, whenever it is. And it's going to be a big problem, I think, because, you know, folks are going to, you know, assume that we'll be able to help them, and we won't be able to. So these are great. It's a great thing that this money's here. It's great that we're going to be able to fund this program, and I'm looking forward to the success that the United Way and your partners are going to have in our community with these dollars. But Commissioner Boyce raises a fantastic point, and you know, we need to be cognizant of what's coming. You know,
Right.
when these dollars are no longer in our community.
President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Crowley, yes. Seeds are needed beyond 3 years. You're gonna plant seeds, you're gonna harvest, you're gonna plant seeds, you're gonna harvest. Somehow you You gotta put a system in place for those seeds to be purchased each year.
That's right.
Some kind of sustainable plan has to be put in place. You know, the farmer's market has to be productive and sustainable. In many cases, the American Rescue Plan is designed to do that.
So, we didn't mean, I don't think, to put a damper, any sort of a damper on this morning's conversation or on Resolution 89621, because this is wonderful stuff, wonderful news, and I think it's going to be something spectacular for our community. So I apologize. It's just kind of where the conversation led, so.
I just want to, I don't have any more questions, but I wanted to say this comment to the end. I cannot underscore the point or the need for universal pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds, especially when it comes to reading proficiency. By the time kids come into kindergarten, we can look at the data. The data has been the same for decades, that kids who do not have access to early childhood education, 3 and 4-year-olds, when they come into kindergarten, especially Black and brown students or poor whites, are far behind, especially when it comes to sight words. And that learning gap tends to be maintained with them throughout schooling. So if we are only coming in or focusing at kindergarten, we are spending more time, more money, more resources to get kids up to speed. And usually that education gap continues. We also have to talk about the 3rd grade reading guarantee and how it has a punitive nature. And so even when kids are up to speed when it comes to reading proficiency, there are kids who are terrified, teachers who are dealing with students who are having breakdowns, parents who are trying to coach their children to come to school, to have this assessment where then they are penalized because they might be having a bad day just like we all do, and then they are penalized because they are not up to proficiency. These are systemic issues that we have to address and ongoing, but I will continue to advocate for universal pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds so we aren't continuing to spend so much money and resources after the fact. If we can get ahead and get children into educational childcare program, Head Start, or whatever they have, that is what gives them the best chance to have reading and learning proficiency. And especially in kindergarten, the language and literacy portion of the KRA has to be administered by November 1st. So you have children who are coming in who only usually has about 2.5 months, if that, depending on when the teacher administers the KRA, to show some proficiency, and then that's a measure to see if there is early intervention that's needed. But had a child had the opportunity to be in a high quality learning environment at 3 years old, their likelihood to be able to score well on that KRA is greatly increased. And so I'm just going to continue to advocate for us to spend money up front, because the investment stays with that child through the life course. And so with that, if there are no more comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 89621.
Second.
I did have one more
I'm
comment,
sorry.
I'm sorry. The only thing I was going to add to that one, I want to say that Commissioner Crawley has, since I've known her, have been a very big advocate for universal pre-K, and I hope there's a way to engage her expertise in a way that can really be a valuable role for the county to play long-term. I'll just say that. And I'm not trying to speak for you. I just see an opportunity there, if it can be. The second part I want to just encourage is Deputy Administrator Bivens to be more engaged with that, because we really want to make sure we're aligning the, Commissioner O'Grady said it perfectly well. We are the human services entity, but it's more than that. It is not just simply about us doling out funds every year to need areas that, help people who are most vulnerable. It is really about moving the needle in this conversation around poverty reduction and racism. And in order to do that, we have to think deeply about the alignment and the connection in how we spend our resources. And I'm not lecturing you, Dr. Cordes. I'm lecturing us all, so that and I know Deputy Administrator Bivens is listening here, and so I want to say that I know she and I talk about this all the time. The alignment of what we're trying to do, of the things that are embedded in the blueprint plan, is critical to how we see ourselves 5 years from now in terms of the work that we've really been able to take on. You know, it's easy to talk about racism as a public health crisis, easy to talk about proficiency levels and all these other things. It's another thing to talk about a deep commitment to changing those things and being dedicated to that cause at every level. So if you don't mind, again, I support this because I feel like, you know, United Way and you, Dr. Cordes, to me, are partners in many of this work, and we do the same work. We want to impact the same things, so aligning it and you all being a catalyst is not an issue for me. The bigger issue is for us to make sure that we're doing everything we can to align them appropriately so that it's the most efficient, the deepest impact, and the best impact that we can possibly have. And so want to just push this conversation to another level, and I'll circle back. We'll circle back around at some point. But if you could get with, so my 2 points are, I'd love to see an opportunity with a conversation with Commissioner Crawley about your vision about universal pre-K stuff, and then I'd like to see Deputy Administrator Bivens be able to talk about the alignment of every aspect of what we're doing in terms of our human services stuff. I would feel a lot better even about the leveraged use of those funds and the sustainability long term. So.
And she's collecting data. I just want to highlight that. I apologize. Deputy Administrator Bivens' office and JFS especially are like collecting some data that hasn't been collected before about those our neighbors that we serve in different areas. And I think those usually, I'm sure there probably overlap on those families, as well as the families who are getting subsidized childcare, as well as the families who children will be going into kindergarten who are served through PRC or any kind of assistance. She would be a fabulous resource. So I second what Commissioner Boyce said. So thank you. Anything else?
Okay, no. It's been motion.
Yeah, it's a motion.
Yep.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 89621 has been adopted.
Thank you. Good to see you, Dr. Cordes. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for your partnership and investment.
Next is Emergency Management Agency.
Resolution number 89721. Resolution authorizing a consultant contract with TCK Consulting LLC for professional services related to critical infrastructure protection and private-public partnerships in the amount of $75,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Young, representing Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. This resolution is for a one-year professional services contract with TCK Consulting LLC. It continues our program of providing support specific to critical infrastructure, non-governmental agencies, and public-private partnerships. The previous provider of this contract has retired, thus ending the current contract. Prior to enacting a new contract, a review of the previous deliverables was undertaken to keep the most relevant services while updating it to be in line with the needs of Franklin County in 2022 and beyond. In updating the deliverables, we wish to maintain the existing level of support for our nonprofit, religious, and vulnerable communities as a focus, while addressing the ever-changing homeland security threats observed particularly in the area of domestic and violent extremism, while also addressing diversity, equity, and inclusiveness as we administer state and federal programs and policies. These updated deliverables were shared with the Office of Diversity and Equity for review and input, with the final contract being created with the support of Franklin County Purchasing, as well as a review and approval performed by the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. TCK Consulting LLC is a local small and minority-owned business that has shown to have unique abilities and experience with urban and minority and immigrant groups, coupled with a high level of necessary homeland security experience. The approval of this contract will not only maintain the previous level of service, but will expand it in a valuable way, not only in the areas of homeland security, but as we work to be cognizant of our disaster response and recovery mission in an equitable and inclusive manner. I will gladly answer any questions and ask for your approval of this resolution.
Hearing no questions, I move to approve Resolution 89721.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 89721 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. JFS.
Commissioner, I believe Fleet Management is next.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did skip it.
You skipped a page.
See right there. Did I skip a whole
Oh,
page?
no, you
No,
might-
just
you skipped
one.
one.
yeah.
Sorry.
You know what? We're still going with JF. No, I'm kidding. We're going to do fleet management. Fleet management next. Right off the chair. We're going to JFS. We're going to just skip around.
It's
No,
your world. We're just
I'm totally
living in it.
kidding. I'm totally kidding. Fleet management. The fleet management one of my favorite. Anyway,
Well, that's the one I
Charlotte
said like a no to last time, emphatically. Let's not do them that.
Resolution number 89821, resolution authorizing the 2022 police cruiser purchase commitment with Byers Ford LLC.
Good morning, Commissioners. Charlotte Ashcraft, Director of Fleet Management. This resolution is for a commitment to purchase our planned 2022 police cruisers. We have an existing contract for our new vehicle purchases with Byers Ford LLC, and Byers needs to be prepared to order our 12 2022 cruisers as soon as the manufacturer's order window opens, which is expected to be early in December. Ford Motor Company, as well as most automotive manufacturers, are experiencing issues and delays in the supply chain due to COVID-19. In order for Ford to manage the increased demand for new vehicles and be strategic in their production, they're managing the order windows very carefully. Typically, an order window is open for 30 days, but this year they're closing within 48 hours due to extreme orders. For us to order our needed cruisers for 2022, we must provide a purchase order or a letter of commitment to Byers Ford, so when the window opens, they can place our order. A purchase order will be obtained as soon as possible in January of 2022, and the cruisers are not expected to be delivered until fall of 2022. Pending any questions, I respectfully request passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 89821.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 89821 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is JFS.
Resolution number 89921, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services Director to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio for a prevention, retention, and contingency plan employment incentive program in the amount of $306,945.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. The most recent state biennium budget set aside funds for counties to establish an employment incentive program as a part of their prevention, retention, and contingency plans. The EIP initiative, which was designed by ODJFS, will provide financial incentive payments to recently employed individuals enrolled in the Ohio Workforce Cash Assistance or the Snapp ENT programs. Our agency proposes to partner with the Workforce Board to implement the program for eligible residents. In order to be eligible, a person must become employed for no less than 25 hours per week and earn a wage at or above the Ohio minimum wage. EIP participants can receive case management support, career counseling, and up to $1,000 in incentive payments if they remain employed for 90 days. Through this MOU, the Workforce Board will issue the Employment Incentive Plan Incentive Awards to eligible residents as identified by Franklin County Job and Family Services. This resolution would further authorize the Director to enter into any future amendments to this MOU with the Workforce Development Board. And pending any questions, I request your approval.
I do have a question. Is this program related to the benefits cliff and a change that came through in the last minute during the operating budget? Does this?
Yes, I believe it is Commissioner Crawley.
Okay.
There were 2.5 million awarded statewide, and the allocation for Franklin County was around $300,000.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Any questions? Hearing none, I move to approve Resolution 89921.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 89921 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Justice Policy and Program.
Resolution number 921. Resolution authorizing a contract with Garrett Recovery Housing to provide peer support, case management, and drop-in center services to individuals at high risk for overdose and death due to opioid abuse through grant funding in the amount of $189,328.
Good morning, Commissioners. For Director, this resolution is presented to the Board of Commissioners for approval of a contract in the amount of $189,328 with Garrett Recovery for peer support, case management, and drop-in center services in the Franklinton Hilltop area to serve individuals at greatest risk for overdose and death due to opioid use, with an emphasis on those using illicit substances and individuals being sexually exploited through sex trafficking. Funded by a Year 3 grant award of Franklin County Public Health's Overdose Data to Action project, Garrett Recovery operates the Hope Resource Center and will be responsible for linking at least 300 community members to care such as peer support, substance use treatment, medication-assisted treatment, mental health treatment, transportation assistance, medical care, and food and medical benefits. OJPP has partnered with Garrett Recovery since 2019, and in CY 2020, their Hope Resource Center provided 310 linkages to substance use treatment, 173 to mental health care, and 160 to medical care, and 388 to peer support. They also distributed 926 personal hygiene kits, 259 wound care kits, and 237 Noxalone kits. The term of the contract shall be in effect beginning September 1, 2021, and shall terminate August 31st of 2022. Please note the purchase order proof reflects the portion of the award that we anticipate will be liquidated during CY 2021. Pending any questions, we seek approval of this resolution.
I have a quick question, Director. Does the kits also include, and I'm sorry if I didn't hear it, the fentanyl testing kits?
It's the Noxalone kits, not the testing kits. No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll talk to you offline about that. All right. If there are no additional comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 90021.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 921 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sanitary engineers.
Resolution number 90121. Resolution authorizing non-general fund supplemental appropriations in the water and sewer funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephen Renner with the Department of Sanitary Engineering. Commissioners, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our Financial Administrator, Katie Harder, who will present this resolution.
Good morning, Commissioners. Katie Harder, Finance Administrator for the Department of Sanitary Engineering. The resolution we present today requests supplemental appropriations totaling $432,390 for water and sewer operational needs, the bulk of which is for payment to the City of Columbus for water and sewer services. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval of Resolution 90121.
Thank you. Hearing no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 90121.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes, and I just wanted to say you have a very clean office there. My office looks nothing like that.
I think that's a.
I'm sure everyone was thinking that. Like, look how neat her office
I think
is.
that's just for on-camera purposes.
Is that
That's
just for
like-
on-camera
That's like a
purposes?
prop or something.
Right. I like the desk is all shiny.
It's pledge.
We're all thinking it. I just said it.
What?
Thank you.
Resolution 90121 has been adopted.
I was like mesmerized by her office. Like, her office is so clean. Right.
Sorry for embarrassing you.
Thank you so much.
It really does look like this all the time, but thank you.
Yeah, sure, no. I'm
She
kidding.
cleaned her office just for the occasion.
It did look like one of those, those filter screen things you put in the back. I'm like, is that real? Or is it, the leaves are blowing perfectly in the window background, what's going on there?
Oh, my goodness.
All right, next, Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 90221. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a modification to the contract agreement with 2K General Company Incorporated to perform additional general trades activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center parking garage in the amount of the contract not to exceed $72,609, and authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute additional minor modifications to the contract agreement in the amount of $1,922,209.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director, Public Facilities Management, with not nearly as tidy of an office as Katie, so you can only see my wall, not my desk area. But in January of 2021.
That's more like what we're used to. People kind of cover up and you just see the picture in the background. The angle is upward, so,
In January of 2021, 2K General Company, Inc. was awarded a contract agreement to perform general trades activities associated with the construction of the new Franklin County Correction Center parking garage. This resolution authorizes a modification of the contract agreement with 2K General Company, Inc. to provide additional garage general trades activities associated with updated City of Columbus fire suppression requirements and an allowance for unforeseen conditions. Any unused funds will be returned to the county. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this contract modification with 2K General Company, Inc.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 90221.
Second,
Moved and seconded and voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 90221 has been adopted. Resolution number 90321. Resolution authorizing recycling of information technology equipment declared obsolete by the Franklin County Automatic Data Processing Board.
Periodically, this agency is asked by the Data Processing Board to assist with the recycling of obsolete surplus IT equipment. We do so in a manner consistent with this board's commitment to promote sustainable principles in our policy decisions and programs. Pending any questions, we request your approval to dispose of this e-waste.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 90321.
Second,
Moved and seconded and voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 90321 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Human Resources.
Resolution number 90421. Resolution authorizing a contract with BusinessSolver.com Incorporated to provide access to historical records for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Plan in the amount of $57,500.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jody Lees, Assistant Director of Franklin County Human Resources. As stated, this resolution approves a contract with Business Solver and allows the health plan to retain access to enrollment, life insurance, and COBRA records. Business Solver is the Cooperative's former benefits administrator. The contract with Business Solver ended September 30th of this year. This contract is backdated to October 1st and allows access to these documents and standard reports for 5 years or until 2026. The 5-year cost is $57,500. And pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 90421.
Second,
Moved and seconded and voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 90421 has been adopted. Resolution number 90521. Resolution authorizing a contract with Standard Insurance Company for employer-paid basic life, accidental death, and dismemberment insurance and employee-paid supplemental life insurance in the amount of $1,165,000.
This resolution requests approval of a contract with Standard for life insurance for the Franklin County Cooperative. Joining me this morning is Chip Knoop, Senior Consultant with CBiz Insurance Services. CBiz consulted on the request for proposal that resulted in this contract. Also in attendance is Brent Vogel, Jr. He's an employee benefits consultant with Standard. So there are three types of life insurance available to members of the cooperative. All benefits eligible employees receive basic life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance at no cost to them. Then optional coverage under the Supplemental Life Insurance Program allows employees to purchase additional amounts of coverage on themselves, as well as coverage for their spouse or domestic partner and their dependent children. That optional supplemental life insurance premium is paid solely by the employee. So a request for proposal was conducted for life insurance in early 2021. Standard was the highest ranked vendor out of 7 proposals received. Their proposal offers duplication of our somewhat unique life insurance benefits, a multi-year rate guarantee, really solid beneficiary and value-added services, and performance guarantees, which include not only metrics for member satisfaction, but also client satisfaction as well. Standard will assume all life or all risk for the life insurance claims effective January 1st of 2022. Now this contract is effective November 1st of 2021. And this is to secure Standard's medical underwriting services for coverage requested during the 2022 open enrollment. This resolution also authorizes County Administrator Wilson to sign the group life application. As stated, the not to exceed amount of this 3-year contract is $1,165,000. And also I would like to recognize the Franklin County Purchasing Department and the Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney's Office for their assistance and advice in the development of this contract. So pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 90521.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 90521 has been adopted. Resolution number 90621, resolution authorizing a contract modification with Benefit Express Services, LLC, for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $1,439,600. So this resolution requests a modification to the contract with Benefit Express. So Benefit Express was selected pursuant to a request for proposal for benefits administration services, and a contract with Benefit Express was approved through resolution on June 1st of this year. So benefits administration services transitioned from Business Solver to Benefit Express effective October 1st of this year. So this modification adds an electronic invoicing module to the contract, and that allows the cooperative to automate the invoicing process. The term of the original contract is not changed, and the additional cost of just this component is $39,600 over the 3 years of the contract. So pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 90621.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 90621 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is purchasing.
Resolution number 90721. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $3,707,575.53.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, presenting with Marlise Ryan, Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 150 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. And Marlise has the small and emerging business enterprise data for you this morning. Good morning, Marlise.
Good morning, Megan. Good morning, Commissioners. We have for your approval 13 out of 26 eligible purchase orders are being presented for award to 8 women business enterprises, 2 small and emerging business enterprises, and 3 minority business enterprises, totaling $84,805.95, which compares to 26% of the eligible purchase order value and 70% of the eligible purchase order dollar value. The following agencies have increased supplier diversity within Franklin County: Public Facilities Management, Justice Policies and Programs, Court of Common Pleas, Sheriff's Office, and the engineers.
Pending any questions, Commissioners, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 0721.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 90721 has been adopted.
Thank you,
Thank
Commissioners.
you. Have a great day.
You too, thank you. Next is Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 90821. Resolution authorizing a transfer of funds for the payment of debt service.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would transfer just under $8.7 million to the various bond retirement funds, including $8.2 million from the general fund for the county's December 1st debt service payment. The resolution also authorizes the payment, which will total $15.4 million. In addition to the amount transferred, $5.1 million is held by the trustee for the Series 2018 sales tax-backed bonds. In addition, various entities also make rental payments that are deposited directly into the debt service funds, including payments from the Columbus Clippers and Franklin County Children's Services. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
All right. If there are no questions, I move to approve Resolution 90821.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 90821 has been adopted. Resolution number 90921. Resolution authorizing the data sharing and confidentiality agreement between the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services and Local Area 11 for the Workforce Board of Central Ohio. Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. This resolution requests your authorization of the periodic agreement between the State Department of Job and Family Services and Local Area 11, which is collectively defined as the local Workforce Development Board and the local elected officials. In our case, the Board of County Commissioners and the Mayor of the City of Columbus. The purpose of this agreement is to allow for the sharing of wage information and unemployment insurance data for the purpose of serving WIO clients. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, I move to approve the resolution 90921.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 90921 has been adopted. Resolution number 91021. Resolution authorizing the subgrant agreement between the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services and the Local Workforce Development System, Local Area 11, for the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio. Commissioners, like the last resolution, this is an agreement between Local Area 11 and the State Department of Job and Family Services. This particular subgrant agreement is for the ability for the State Department of Job and Family Services to serve as a fiscal pass-through for WIOA funds and other periodic federal funds that come to the state of Ohio. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval.
If there are no questions, I move to approve Resolution 91021.
Second.
Moved and seconded and voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 91021 has been adopted. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution number 91121. Resolution appointing Donna Zuderweg to the Franklin County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Long, Deputy Administrator. Pending any questions, would recommend this appointment to the Adam H. Board.
Thank you. There are no questions. I move to approve Resolution 9/11/21.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 9/11/21 has been adopted. Resolution number 9/12/21. Resolution appointing Jenny Snapp to the Columbus Sister Cities International Board of Trustees, Franklin County, Ohio.
Pending any questions, we would recommend the appointment of Jenny Snapp, Assistant Director for Franklin County Economic Development and Planning, to the Columbus Sister Cities Board.
Thank you. If there are no questions, I move to approve Resolution 9/12/21.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 9/12/21 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any generalizations this week?
There are not, Commissioner.
That, well, I think, is there any media on the line that have any questions?
No questions for me, thank you.
Okay. Any other? Okay, seeing that there are none, that concludes our meeting. Thank you, everyone. We got pictures or something? We have photos or something now?